Good morning. Well, it's morning when I'm recording. And yes, I am in my truck. I'm in a parking lot and I'm waiting for Suzanne Stabile's teaching to start. I have a few, and I knew I would get here early, and I was hoping it'd be light enough to record some videos, and it is. So I brought all my materials, and I just want to say, chapter 9 and chapter 10 are together on the list for the same week. I don't know if you'll do that or not. So I will try to separate them the best I can. But your homework, your spelling list, and your lessons, your vocabulary lessons, are for 9 and 10 together. So it's not going to hurt. If you want to start while you're in chapter 9, you're not going to mess anything up. If you want to start it in 9 and carry it through to 10, if you're going to do it in 2 weeks, or if you're going to do it in 1 week, either way, you can easily do the assignments either way. So with that, for your pre-reading, I want you to listen for this quote. It's going to be after, it's after the joust. And let me find it. Okay. For John was at least as lascivious in his pleasures as profligate in his ambition. And what that means is lascivious means morally unrestrained, and profligate means immoral and shameless. So the sentence could read like this: For John was at least as morally unrestrained in his pleasures as immoral and shameless in his ambition. So I want you to think about that. Now that is in where they're talking about Vladimir Fitzers, where they're talking about his daughter Alicia, and they're talking about how Prince John made the quote-unquote jest of the Jewess being the lady of the festivities there. What is it called? Oh, Queen of Honor and of Beauty and of Love. Okay, so he made that jest, and he's trying to make up for it. So he is suggesting to the Disinherited Knight that he pick Vladimir Fitzer's daughter Alicia as the Queen of the Beauty of Love and Honor, or whatever that title is. He says it differently different times. But in all of that, he had part of his reasoning, and that's where that quote will be when Sir Walter Scott describes John's reasoning and his desires for helping the Disinherited Knight along there, and who to choose for the lady love of the festival. So he is morally unrestrained. I lost the quote again. It's here somewhere. Okay. So for John was at least as morally unrestrained in his pleasures as he was immoral and shameless in his ambition. That you need to know about Prince John. And later, when it's like that, a paragraph or two later, the Disinherited Knight is going to ride around the list and look at all the pavilions and look at the girls. And some of them, it talks about the different ways the girls posture themselves. And it says, it was worthwhile to see the different conduct of the beauties who underwent this examination. During the time it was proceeding, some blushed, which I would think would be appropriate. Some assumed an air of pride and dignity. Some looked straight forward and essayed to seem utterly unconscious of what was going on. And essayed means they attempted to not realize they attempted to ignore that anything was going on. Okay, do you have a head? Is there a brain in there? Of course something is going on. Why are you acting like they just didn't know how to respond, is what that was. They may have been introverts. They just might not have known how to respond to all that attention. Or he's not going to pick me, so why do I even need to engage in this? I don't know. Who knows what they were thinking? But essayed can mean, or essay can mean a literature piece of work, or it can mean to try to attempt that nothing's going on. Okay. And then I want you to listen for Lady Rowena's, what she does during the jousts and her responses to all that. And listen for Isaac and Rebecca's exchange about the disinherited knight. And I want you to listen about Prince John getting on his horse and riding away. Now, a Jeanette is he saddles up he gets on his Jeanette and goes away. That is any breed of small Spanish horse. Yeah, I'm going to make sure I got it right. Any breed of small Spanish horse. Now, they don't mean Mexico, Spanish. They mean Spain, Spanish. Which would have been kind of exotic for that day to have a Spanish horse in England. That would have been kind of exotic, so that's understandable, but small. I want you to listen. Did you listen for... Oh, it is in this. It's earlier in this selection of reading of chapter 9. Listen for King Richard's description. Listen for what he sounds like he is. And draw conclusions about what you might know about a man who rides a small horse. I want you to draw those comparisons and conclusions and think about that. And I want to discuss it with you later, okay? All right. I think, and I did write a question later I added to my notes. Does it surprise you that Prince John's horse would be small? I had that question for you. That might be for, yeah, that's it for chapter 9 pre-reading. I hope you enjoy it. See ya.